Okay, so we'll start with our daily chart of Bitcoin. So last night, if you watched last night's video or you were following along, we were kind of thinking this was a bit of a last line in the sand for Bitcoin and a place where maybe we could stick our toe in. And the count for that was based on this being wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3 completing here at the high on the 16th of May, and this being one of those funky irregular ABCs like this, which you do when you're in a proper squeeze, which we are, and then we'll rally to new highs from here to finish wave 5, and we're looking around these previous highs and the big round 10,000 number and the 236 fib level, which is at 9,400. And how do I see both of those targets being hit? You know, sometimes, and we saw it here with the 9,000 level, sometimes when you hit a big round number in crypto, and to be quite honest, there isn't anything bigger than 10,000 or 20,000 really, is there? You see a lot of profit taking, and we saw that at 9,000, really sharp declines. We saw that at 8,000 as well. And so I think if you were going to take some profit up there, you should put your order ahead of the 10,000 level, because I think that we'll see quite a sharp reaction. So if we do rally from here, and I'm thinking a lot ahead, then I'm expecting a bigger correction once we get up to this 382 level, and we will have completed 5 waves up from the December lows, and then we'll be looking at that kind of July, August kind of correction pullback. And even then, you know, there are still people, I think, looking for sort of really silly low numbers for this big pullback, and I'm thinking that we're probably not going to get them. I hate to say it, I think it's going to be more likely a retest of this 7,000 level, maybe 6,000, because 6,000 was so important for such a long time for Bitcoin, but you know, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. So for now, we're looking at, is this rally going to hold, and are we going to see one more leg higher to new highs, and is this, you know, ABCD count correct? And normally you would put your fibs on an ABC. It's a little bit difficult to do here. So what we're going to do for this one is we're going to put our fib retrace. So if you don't use fibs, then just looking at this, if we can get our toe in above this hourly 20 moving average, that would be the first sign that we're going higher. Then we'd look to the 50 and then the hourly 200. If we break above that, then we are in a new leg higher. That's kind of the steps to do it if you're not using fib levels. I'm going to pop some on because it helps me, and we'll go from this high to low here like this. And okay, so where we bounced overnight and where we got rejected so far is the 236 fib level here at 7838. This is Bitstamp prices. So if we get above that, then we are in the next swing higher. Remember though, corrections are normally 3 waves. So it might be that we do, you know, A, B, C, and then higher here for Bitcoin dollar. If we look at this on some other exchanges, let's look at Binance against Tether, for example. Here was this level we were looking to hold. I'm just going to tidy up. Okay, we'll go from this high. We'll see where the 236 fib is here. And that, again, that was the overnight high, 78.57. So if we break above 78.57, I think it's a really nice long. This level should then become support. We shouldn't come back below it. We should continue higher. And again, we're looking for 8465, which is where the hourly 200 moving average is. And then we'd look for a breakout of this consolidation and so on. So that's how I would see this. So above 7857, look for 8,090 and then 8,465. And then above there, really, I think new highs. So that's how we're seeing Bitcoin. Still, this recovery overnight are following this sort of final 5 waves down is looking quite positive for me. Now, what happens if we don't? Now, what happens if remember, final legs, here's the problem. Okay, if we go back and we say, this is our A, B, C correction here like this. So this is A leg, and then this was our B leg, and it's one of those funky corrections, and this was our C leg. Then the problem here is that this final leg down should also be 5 waves. Now, 5th waves very often fail, but if we do that going this way, then we have to say, look, this is 1, 2, 3, and so we're only going to be in wave 4, and we could still do another leg lower. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. So how do we know if that's what's going to happen? And we're going to rally and do one more push lower before we bottom and head up to that 9,500, 10,000 level. Well, if this is just the wave 3 and we've got another wave 5 to come down, and we're going down to the 7,100 level or around there or lower, then the most common level of retrace for a wave 3 is 38.2, which is at the big round number 8,000. And that would make sense. That lines up with this spike low from here. And it's one of those big round numbers that crypto likes. Or 50% of this swing, which is very often a tough resistance, is 81.50. So we're going to say if Bitcoin rallies for a couple of days and then fails between 8,000 and 8,150 and turns lower, so if we just do like an ABC rally and turn lower from there, then we're probably going to see one more swing lower down to around, now waves 1 and 5 are very often equal or have a fib relationship, so we'll do that this way, so equal length, that just means. Yeah, so we could see from there 7,100. We could just make a marginal new low and then rally, or we could go all the way down to 7,100 in a 5th wave. So we need to be a little bit careful. So that's how I see Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin Tether at Binance. And I think we've done one of those funky corrections, but that does mean that we're at risk of another leg lower. And if you're not using fibs to calculate it, remember we said that when you get underneath the 20 moving average, because look, all the way up in this rally, we've been held up by the 20 moving average, and every time we've pulled back to it, we've found support and we've carried on higher. This would mean for us another leg lower. This would mean a rejection at the daily 20 moving average, and then a swing lower, and where we would probably meet the 50 moving average and then carry on rallying. The 50 moving average is like our backstop. It's our second line of defense. That's how it tends to work. So that's where we are with Bitcoin. Expecting a rally, still looking for that 9,500, 10,000 level. Not sure that we're going to rally from here. It looks good so far, but we are at risk of one more leg lower. I hope that makes sense to everybody.